welcome to Stash Chat. Hello, Jan. Thank you for joining us already. So, welcome to Stash Chat. If this is your first time joining, Stash Chat is my weekly live YouTube sewing chat slash podcast where I talk to a different member of the sewing community each week about their sewing journey, about their fabric stash, and about what they're up to in the sewing community. So it's always really exciting. We get a different story every week. And it's just so lovely to get to meet and get to know a bit better loads of people from the community. So thank you so much if you are joining us live. Please do get involved in the live chat. So you can kick us off by letting us know where you're joining from. And then if you have any questions for our guest, you can pop them into the live chat as well, and we'll weave those into our conversation. So hi, Shirty Deeds, thanks for joining us, and hello, Alison, as well. So yeah, really exciting guest we're going to have on in a minute. So I'll introduce them in a minute. Just wanted to catch you up on a little bit of Stash Hub news. So at the moment, Doug is working on bulk edit for Stash Hub, which I know has been a long requested feature. So I think in the description of this YouTube video, there's a link to the Stash Hub forum if you want to get a sneak peek at it as a beta tester. And we're also having a Zoom social on Monday. So that will be 7 p.m. BST UK time on Monday the 14th. So if you want to join that as well, you're welcome to come and hang out with us on Monday. So yeah, that's the Stash Hub news this week. I've actually remembered to do the news this week. But now let's introduce our guest. So today I'm speaking to Emma, who is the owner of the Fabric Boutique, which is an absolutely gorgeous fabric shop. So we're going to hear lots more about the shop from Emma in a bit, but also about her sewing journey and her personal stash. I always think it's very interesting to hear from shop owners about what their personal fabric stash is like, because often they'll have a very large stash because they've got the temptation of a big shop full of fabrics, or sometimes they'll have a very small personal stash because they get all the satisfaction from sourcing everything for the shop. So I'm interested to see which side Emma falls on as a fabric shop owner. So let's just say hi to Linda, and everyone who's just joined, do pop into the chat as well. And let's get Emma on, get this chat going. Hi, Emma.
Hi.
Hi, Chats.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
I'm really excited to get to know you a bit better.
Oh, thank you. It was really nice to be here, actually. I was quite chuffed when I was asked, so thank you very much.
Yeah, we had you requested. I can't remember who it's from, but if someone's watching live or if you're watching on the replay, you were like, I need to know about Emma and the Fabric Boutique, let us know. Yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with all my stash. I was just listening to your introduction there when you were saying you wonder if it's small and a fabric shop, because you are surrounded by temptation all the time. So the shop in some ways is my fabric stash, but I have to say in recent months it has grown a little out of control. It's that thing of you buy something and I'll whip it up at the weekend, and then you get home at the weekend and you don't whip it up, and then it's just another piece of fabric. And then if I ever make something, I get people coming in the shop, I love that, what fabric is it? But you might have sold out of it by the time you've made it up. So then I don't want to make it then, because I know that I'm going to get asked what it is. So you're always playing catch up, always.
You have to start cutting out your projects in the shop as well, so that you have to sew it then.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'd love to sit and sew in the shop if I had time. Sometimes I do, but it's very rare indeed. It's usually when I'm
too many customers.
I know. Well, if you ever are having a quiet moment and you think, I could do the customer right now, all you need to do is whip out that sewing machine and they're guaranteed to come in. Good trick.
Yep. Or someone will see you sewing and say, oh, do you do alterations?
Oh, I get that all the time. I would make, if I had £1 for every time somebody asked me that on the daily, I'd probably make more than I do selling fabric. And then they always go, oh, you've got a sewing machine there. It'll only take you 5 minutes when you say you don't do it. And you think, oh, if only you knew.
Oh, that's funny. Right, so before we get into your stash a bit more, do you want to tell us about how you first got into sewing and what inspired you?
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. It was definitely my mum that got me into sewing, which it's probably the case for many sewists out there. She's now, well, she still is, avid sewer. She was always making clothes for us as children, more so me perhaps than my brother, who's a bit younger than me. She'd take us to a posh dress shop in Derby when we were kids, and I was just think, oh, going in the designer shop. And she'd have a good look round, and she'd be holding things up to me, and I used to get so excited. And then we'd go, thank you, we're going now, and off we'd trot. We'd go round to the market. There's a fabulous fabric shop. I remember it from a little girl. And there's a Rose and Hubble shop as well, I remember. And she'd go and buy these beautiful cottons and whip me up these little girls' dresses and two-piece sets. So she probably got me started. And Mum helps in the shop now. So anyone that comes into the shop, you'll all be familiar with Alice. So yeah, my mum was definitely my inspiration. She taught me how to sew from an early age. And then when I got to GCSEs, I wanted to take textiles as a GCSE, and my dad wasn't keen. He said, you know, probably never going to need textiles in your life, and convinced me to go down the sort of computers and typing route. I'm still terrible at both. So, and I did textiles at A level, which is very different to textiles now. You were learning a lot about composition of fabrics and so on, which has put me in good stead for today. And then from there, I did a fashion. I did foundation, art and design foundation. So to go to university to do fashion textiles back in the 90s, you had to do a foundation course first, which was fantastic. So if anyone ever has that opportunity to do art foundation, I would highly recommend it. You do all different parts of the arts, and then you focus on what you want to do, and you dabble with a bit of everything. It's all about experimenting, finding your niche. And so, yeah, I highly recommend doing an art foundation. And from there, I did a fashion textiles degree. So
exciting. Yes, just a couple of my friends did art foundation degrees, and they just look really fun. They're like, oh, today I'm doing pottery, and today I'm doing screen printing. And I was just like,
oh yeah,
so lucky.
It was fabulous. I did it. We lived down south at the time, so I did it at Western Supermare, and our fashion teacher there, her name was Anna. I remember so vividly. She was so vivacious and fun and inspiring, and you need somebody like that in your life to, I don't know, fire your inspiration and your creativity, I suppose. She was really good, and she was all about the prints and the colours, and yeah, she was really good. I remember, I mean, it's like I say, it was the early 90s, doing screen printing, and so when I was at uni, I focused more on that than I did fashion. So more on textiles.
We've got a couple of people just joined. Lovela from London, and thanks for the help with the pronunciation. I feel like I always butcher your name. We got Jackie joining us. He says, hi, Emma. And Mel's joined. Don't worry, Mel, you're not too late. We haven't even got into the stash yet. So we're just hearing about Emma's lifelong sewing, basically, which is really exciting. So what was it from your art foundation that really was got you it yes, I'm doing fashion at uni? Is it your fashion teacher that just really inspired you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, all the projects we did were made fun as well. So she'd get visiting lecturers in. So, I mean, one day we had somebody come in, and I wish I could remember her name, but she came in and she said, right, I want you all to scatter charity shops. And she sent us all off out, and we had to come back with woolen jumpers, 100% wool, she said. We didn't know what we were doing at this point. We just knew she was an artist as well as a textile artist. Go out and buy loads of wool jumpers, pure wool. So we all came back, and we had, honestly, some of them were right states. And we boil washed them and dyed them and all felted up. And from there, we made hats and jewelry and 3D things. So that was one. Another one, we did millinery. We had one, actually, it reminds me of a lady's doing a sewing challenge, and I can't remember, for the life of me, I'm ashamed, I can't remember her name. She's doing a sewing challenge, and it's all about keeping safe in the sun. And that's what we did one of our projects on back in Art Foundation. And it was all about covering your skin to protect you from melanoma and skin cancer. And we had, do you remember Dr. Hilary Jones? He came to the college, and he watched our show, and it was on local news, and just things like that really inspire you and get you excited about a project. So I think that's probably what pushed me into the fashion textiles rather than fine art or ceramics or anything like that.
That sounds really exciting. Your charity shopping challenge sounds very like sewing bee transformation challenge.
It was, and we did a lot of things like that actually at college. Definitely, yeah. Put you on the spot
Amazing.
and get on with it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I wonder there must be a like a sewing bee producer that did a similar course and was like, right, this is going on
Yeah,
the TV. We'll put that in the
yeah,
show.
perhaps. I think that would be my favourite thing if I was on the sewing bee, doing something like that. 100%.
A lot of the bees that I've spoken to, they do say that that challenge is their favorite, the transformation, because they just have no idea like what's going to happen going into it. So it's just like pure creativity. There's no
Yeah,
like stressing like I can't understand these instructions or like this isn't going how I wanted it to go before. It's just like, you know, you just have to pick an idea and run with it. So yeah, a lot of
because
people I
things
agree
don't
with that.
always go how you want it to go when you're sewing. I mean, I've been sewing something in the shop today and it's ended up in the corner of shame. It's just things don't go right, do they? So I'd be terrible on sewing bee. I think I'd be rocking in a corner, crying into my fabric. I would no, I'd be no good at all.
I feel like I would see like something very minor would happen. Like there'd be like a teeny tiny tuck, and I'd be like, no, I'm not happy with that. Spend
Yeah,
ages unpicking it, and then they'd be like, you've got 5 minutes left, and the whole rest of it would be an absolute shambles.
pinned in, stapled.
Yeah.
No, I'd be no good. I'm too much of a. I like everything done just so. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and if it's not completely right, then I unpick things and I get it spot on. So yeah, I couldn't work like that. It would spin me out.
So would you say you're quite a slow sewer? Like
Oh
you like to
gosh,
sort of
yeah,
take time over the process?
very much so. And I enjoy sewing. It's my calm. It's my peace of mind. I've got quite a busy job. I've got two children. I say children. They're in their 20s. They live at home with us still, and it. I love it. I love the chaos of my life. But coming into my sewing room and sitting down to sew, it's just peaceful, isn't it? It's where you clear your mind and process the day, and So yeah, that sewing's my sanctuary. I wouldn't want to be under pressure.
Yeah, oh, that's really nice. We've got Rondi joining us from the Pacific Northwest. Thanks for joining us, Rondi. So good to have you here. Right, what was I going to ask you? Yes, so your course was then like fashion textiles. So what was that like? Like, what was it the more textile focus on that
Yeah,
course?
well, back then it was just fashion textiles. I know nowadays you can do a different parts of it and follow different paths, but back then it was just fashion textiles. And the first year was focused on everything. And then the second year I chose textiles. And within that, you could do knit, 3D, structural, there's all different things, print, of course. And I focused on print in my third year. So I did printed textiles, but it was so different back then. I mean, things took forever. You even had to stretch your paper because when you paint onto paper, it buckles up, doesn't it? So you had to wet and stretch your paper, and you couldn't draw on it till it was bone dry. Everything had to be painted flat with designer gouache, and you had to cut it all out with a scalpel and paste it all together. And now I see what they do on. It's just a touch of a button on an app on your iPad. I think, goodness me, I could have been belting those designs out back then. But yeah, things change and evolve, and I'd love to. I keep saying I'm going to get that. I think it's Procreate, the app. I keep thinking I'd love to have a go and scan some of my old designs in and tweak them, but I just don't have time. But maybe one day that's something I'd like to have a go at. But it
Yeah, that
was
was
cool.
something that I was thinking of asking you as well. Is that something that you like aspire to do at some point in the future? Like have your own like the fabric boutique range of fabrics
Yeah,
that fit
I'd
your
love to do
designs.
it. I'd love to. It's just time. It's only me in the shop. And I do everything. I do the social media, the ordering, the accounts, the website, and it's a lot of work. So yeah, I'd love to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm juggling too many balls at the moment. And because before I had the shop, I worked for the lady that owned. So Alison Smith used to own the shop, and I worked for her. And we had a team, and we did kits. We did lots of different things, and I just don't have time to do them now. So I've always got ideas. It's just finding the time to do them. Maybe one day I'll get someone in to help me, and we'll be well away.
It's quite difficult when you're like a really small business as well, isn't it? Because you do have to sort of pace yourself and be like, okay, we like this is out of scope for now. Like in the
Yeah,
future,
definitely.
like, we need to
Well,
do
it's
our
always
hands
a
on something.
gamble. It's a gamble. Do you take somebody on and go for it, or do I take on two people and go for it? And I think, yeah, well, I can do that. But then I'm thinking, then I've got to deal with all the other things that come with having members of staff. I'd have to do it. So on one hand, it will help. On the other hand, I'm still dealing with. So I'm always like, oh, what to do. And, I probably could do with a bit of advice, really, business advice on that. But we'll see.
Yeah, you have to join the virtual sewing room professional network. That's what I'm in. It's just
Really?
like all sewing businesses, and we just have a chat every month, and
Oh,
some really good business advice in there.
okay.
Yeah, so that's
You
really
have to let me
exciting.
know about that
I'll
then.
send you the details of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
yeah, so that's really exciting. So from your so did you ever sort of think, oh, I might have a career like in the fashion industry?
I did for a time when I came out of uni. So my first job, I just needed a job, and I got a job working in Rackham's, and I worked for the Bieber. Bieber, they relaunched in the 90s, and I went to work, which was great because I got to wear all the Bieber clothes, and they were kind of 60s clothes with a bit of a 90s vibe. So it was really lovely stuff. So that was nice, but it wasn't ultimately what I wanted to do, of course. So I then got a job working in a design room, and I was designing. It was more like, it was quite fast fashion, really. But at that point, it hadn't all gone over to China, but you could see, the Far East, that the fast fashion industry was going that way, and I could see what was happening. So yeah, I didn't stick that out for very long. It wasn't really for me, and I didn't enjoy it. And then I just left there and I went to work for an office, believe it or not. I went in an office for 10 years doing imports, exports for customs. And throughout that, I was also dabbling a bit with designing cards and stationery. But that's when I had my children. So my life fitted in around my kids, really. So, and I didn't really sew much at all when I had my children. I was trying to work this out. Did I do much sewing? And I didn't. Apart from the odd project that the kids would come home, Mum, I've got to dress up like a wartime evacuee tomorrow for school. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, like, we put on the spot, oh, it's put day tomorrow, I need an outfit, that kind of thing. So apart from sewing bits and bobs like that, I didn't really sew for a long time. But prior to that, I've made all my own clothes for many years, all through uni and my pre-children years. I made a lot of things for me. And I only really discovered it again as the kids got older and I had some more me time. So I've been back at it now probably 10 years. So yeah, it's really nice to be back sewing. But I'm broadening what I sew now as well. So the shop recently started selling, I say recently, it was last June, we introduced quilting cottons. So we've got some Liberty and some Tilda, Riley Blake, and Macawa. I'm growing that range all the time because I'm finding that quilting cotton is really popular for bag making, crafting projects, and indeed dressmaking. Lots of people are dressmaking as well with it. It's only a wee bit heavier than a lawn, but it's a lot more durable and it's a bit warmer. So I'm doing really well with that. And I thought, well, because I've started doing it, I really should learn to patchwork and quilt. So I've broadened what I sew a little bit, and I've started doing a bit of bag making as well.
Exciting. Yeah, I'm hoping to make my first like proper bag with like all the hardware and stuff soon. So I had a delivery today, which was very exciting.
Yeah, I've not got that far yet, but still squishy quilted bags at the moment.
Yeah, oh, that's really cool. Do you want to tell us a bit more about the shop now, or do you want to talk about the stash? Like, it's up to you.
I am happy to chat whatever anyone wants to hear about, really. I mean,
yeah, well, let us know your questions in the chat if you're watching live. Shall we do a little bit of chat about the shop? Because I feel like we kind of got into that in terms of your journey, and then like also as background as well when we keep mentioning the shop so that people know what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah, sure. So the shop I've had for, gosh, it's just over 2 years. I took it on in the January, so just over 2 years. It was predominantly dressmaking. So all your dressmaking fabrics. I sell independent patterns, which I'm always increasing all the time. And then I also stock McCall's, New Look, Vogue, and Simplicity patterns. They're excellent value, and they're always changing. There's always a new pattern. There's always something coming out, and they do offers. They're really good value. Not as informative in the instructions as the independent. So it swings and roundabouts. I learned to sew with the Big Four because, of course, back then there weren't the independents around like there are now. I love all patterns. I mix and match what I've got. I also sell all your notions, your haberdashery. I stock Prim haberdashery predominantly just because I think it's the best quality. It's excellent. And then I've got all your interfacings. What else have I got in there? Oh, sewing machines. I'm a Janome stockist. So I invite people to come and try the machines that I've got. We put the kettle on, we have a chat, and you can have a tinker around on the machine, ask any questions you want, have a play. And yeah, I can get any of the Janome machines that they stock. So in June, like I said before, I introduced quilting fabric, quilting cottons. So I do fat quarter bundles. You can buy it on the long quarter, and I'm starting to do charm packs soon as well. So that's a growing thing for me at the moment.
Yeah, everything you need then.
As well. Yeah. So the shop's in Leicestershire. It's a nice big space, and I absolutely love it. Every day is different in the shop. I have regulars that come in. So some weeks I see the same people pop in because I like to think it's a bit of a community space now as well. And I hope my customers feel that way too. So people will come in. If I'm busy and there's already somebody else in there, no one ever makes me feel like they're, I know people are in a hurry, so I'm trying to hurry, but at the same time, no one ever makes me feel uncomfortable. It's a wonderful place to be, the sewing community. Everyone's really lovely to one another. And I love it when I can turn around and they're chatting amongst themselves about fabric, or they'll be talking about something, or they'll be talking about a pattern they've recently made. And I've made that as well. And it's just a lovely environment, and nothing beats being able to feel the fabric and waft it around, and you need to touch it, and it's just a nice shopping experience buying fabric. So I hope I give that to my customers. I hope it feels a nice place to be.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So we had a question from Leanne. What are your opening times of the shop?
I open Tuesday to Saturday, so Sundays and Mondays are my day off, and I'm open 9:30 till 4:30 every day that I'm open. So Tuesday to Saturday, 9:30 till 4:30, and I'm online as well. I have
brilliant,
and I aim to get things out really quick because I'm a bit paranoid about not getting things out. So I hurry to get things done.
Yeah, I mean, I think often the small businesses like yourself, like your deliveries come like quicker than they would from like a massive business that has obviously got like a team and loads of resources, and then it's just the small people that are like working their butts off, and you're just like, that's amazing.
It's so true though, because when it's your own business and you're independent, if I haven't done something and it's 9 o'clock at night, I'll think, oh my gosh, I've not done that. So I'll go back in and do it because I don't want to let people down. The only thing I'm not so hot on is replying to my Instagram and emails, because it's just me. I'll get so many, and I was just battling my way through them all. So I do apologise if anyone ever sends me a message. It does take me a while to get back to them. So I do apologise.
Well, Jackie says that she loves the shop.
So. Oh, hi, Jackie. I can see you on there. Yeah, Jackie's one of my lovely customers that pops in.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. I mean, looks like an absolutely gorgeous space in the fabric boutique as well. Like with all your fabrics arranged in colours.
Yeah, I find that it helps people. We have quite a lot of customers that have had their colours done. I've never had mine done myself. I keep saying I'm going to, but we have a lot of ladies that have. I say ladies because I've not yet had a gentleman that's come in with his part, but a lot of people come in and they've got their little wallet with all their colours that have been done for them, so they know if they're summer or winter, and they know what they're looking for, so they can go straight to that shelf. It can be a bit confusing if you're looking for a jersey, for example, because they're not standing out alone, but at least if you know roughly what colour you're looking for, we can sort of guide people to that. And I hope I give good advice. I like to think I do. And my mum helps out and Jeanette from time to time. And when I listen to them, they're really good at it. They will go hone in straight to what you be hopefully being, what you've asked for. Hopefully will hone you into the right area to look for and guide you with the patterns and the quantities. I mean, that's confusing in itself, when you're looking at a pattern and you're thinking, how much do I need, what kind of fabric? And that's the beauty of being able to visit a bricks and mortar shop. So we get a lot of beginners. They'll come in, they know what they want to make, they've got the pattern, but they don't know where to begin. And visiting a bricks and mortar shop, you've got that guidance, where to look, how much you need. And you can explain to people as well, this is a woven pattern and this is a woven fabric and this is what a jersey knit fabric looks like. And it just helps. So if you are able to visit a bricks and mortar shop, it is well worth it.
Definitely. I mean, when I first started sewing, it was like during the pandemic, so I didn't have that option to do like in-person shopping. But you don't realize like how much you don't know about fabric, as someone that's always had to wear clothes like for your entire life. Like obviously you're familiar with fabric, but you just don't know like what the fabric types are, or like the weights or anything like that. So then I found, like, as I was ordering things online and then it would come, I'd be like, oh, so like that's what that thing means. Like, you just, and then you kind of, get a sense of like, okay, well, this one says it's a poplin, so I have an idea of what that will be like. But I think definitely that tactile experience of fabric shopping, like nothing beats it. And especially when you're new and you don't know like what the keywords of the thing that you're that you've got in your head, that you're like, this was that dress that I bought from Topshop in 2009 and that was really nice, what was that made of? And if you see it in person, but you just don't know what it would be called, so you don't
always know the weight of them either, though, do you? That's the other thing, it's knowing the weights. And I try and put, if I know the weight, I will put it on the description. But again, like you say, you can buy something and I still do it. Some of my suppliers I buy from abroad, and I'm not always able to get samples. So, but you get to know, you can gauge it from the weight and the composition when you've been doing it a while. But I've still bought some things and thought, what is that when it's come in? I have had some howlers that have come in and I thought, oh, some of the things I've never even made it out the back room. They've just gone straight onto the sale. And some things I've just kept myself. I thought, oh, that's not going anywhere. But not many, because I've been doing it a while. But I have had a couple.
Have you had any like really like surprising successes though, like where you've ordered something and thought, not sure this is going to sell, and then it's been like quite popular?
I have. It's weird because you look at a fabric. I have done this before. I've got, oh, it's beautiful, that's so gorgeous, I'm going to get 2 bolts of that, 2 rolls of it, it's going to fly out, and then it hasn't. Or you've bought something and you've thought, oh, that's beautiful, but I don't know if that's just my taste. And then it just sells out in an hour of putting it on the website, and then you'll buy some more and it sells out again. And then you think, goodness me. So then a few weeks later, you'll see something similar and go, oh, gosh, that reminds me of that. So you'll buy some of that, and then it doesn't sell. So there's no patterns of things, but it's a bit of hit and miss. But you do get to know your customers well. And I think after a while, I mean, that's the other beauty of having a bricks and mortar shop. You're hearing what your customers are asking for. And one thing I have learned as well, it's not always what the trends are. I mean, you can look at the trends and you can see what colours are fashionable for this season and what prints are going to be out there and what patterns are the big thing. Ultimately, most customers are only really concerned with what feels comfortable and what suits them. They're not bothered about mocha being the colour of the season. They're not. They just want what suits. And I'm the same. I'm guided by what I like and what I feel comfortable in. Obviously, there's a bit of a what is fashionable comes into it when the designer's making it in the first instance. But from a point of view of what I buy what I think people will hopefully like.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the beauties of sewing your own clothes as well, is that you don't have to follow the trends, and you can just make what you want or need in your wardrobe. You don't have to, say, oh, well, the colour of the season is grey, so I guess my wardrobe's grey now. You can just be like, oh, great, I can still have colourful clothes, even though it's not fashionable.
Well, that's the other thing as well. I went shopping. I never go shopping, hardly ever go shopping. And I went on Saturday. I had a day off, a rare day off. And I went around the shops with my daughter. And I'm always really shocked when I look online as well. Everything in the high street is pretty plain. You've obviously got colours, but everything's plain. There's very little print or embellishment. And I guess it's because they're manufacturing for the masses. So they've got to suit everybody and appeal. Whereas the beauty of being able to sew is you can have exactly what you like, exactly what appeals to you, whether it's a subtle Dixie print or a big bold print or, you know, geometrics or floral. And that's you can be so individual in how you look with, you know, sewing your own clothes. And that's the beauty of it. And you can mix and match. If you want to clash your prints, you can, but the high street probably wouldn't take that risk, which is a shame because it comes off so well. And I think that's probably where the likes of Bowden, I do like Bowden, that's where I like what they do, because they do have the bold prints and they do mix and match, and you know, they do some good combos really, in colours, bold colours.
Also, if you like get into looking at designs on the like more expensive fabric, like fashion websites, then you kind of can feel like you're saving money a bit from sewing. Whereas
yeah,
like
well, exactly, yeah,
fashion, it's just too cheap. Like you can't compare.
Yeah,
to it.
you can't. That's so true. I get some people go, it's so expensive sewing, but it depends what you're comparing it to. So if you are looking at £150 dress, the other day when I went shopping, I saw a beautiful dress. I can't remember. I think it was in John Lewis. I can't remember what the brand was, and it was stunning. And it was very much like the Queenie or oh gosh, what's it called? The Peony dress, Fabric Godmother. So Queenie's style arc, and there's a McCall's version of as well, and they're all very similar. And this dress was, well, it's a vampire's wife, wasn't it? The original. Yeah. And this was like that dress. £170. It was stunning, and I thought, oh, that's beautiful. Picked it up, £170, and I touched it, and it was 100% polyester. And I thought, you know, £170. So there's a really good example of how you could have made that dress for £30 with a quality crepe, because it was a polyester crepe. And yeah, so you would be saving yourself money. And yes, patterns are dearer, but I never make something once. Well, I have on occasion and really hated it. But generally speaking, if you've made something and it suits and you've got the fit right, then you can make loads of those dresses or tops or whatever, and just every time you make it in a different fabric, it will look totally different. So always reuse a pattern, and you can change things, change the sleeve, change the hemline, add a frill, and you've got your money's worth out your pattern.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you a pattern hacker? But that sounds like a yes.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I'm a sucker for a sleeve and a collar and ruffles. You've probably all noticed on my Instagram, but yeah, I've so behind with my sewing at the minute. I've not made much. I've got a bit of a thing for making quilted jackets. I've got to tone it down. I don't need any more jackets, but I definitely need to get going in summer.
That jacket that you made in like the pink boiled wool is incredible.
Oh, that's actually a boucle. Yeah, I love that. It's like I made it like a cardigan. I didn't line it, so it's nice and easy to put on, and it'll see me through spring and summer, I should think.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Thank you. Very pink, very me.
Yeah. Is that your favourite colour, pink? Is that your fabric weakness?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Although I'm into pale blue at the minute, but we've just started to decorate. I can hear my husband there. We're decorating the hall stairs and landing at the minute. He put me on the spot the other day. He says, "What colour should we do it?" And I said, "Oh, quite fancy pink, actually." So we bought the paint, and yeah, it's very pink. So as much as I like pink, I don't know how I'm feeling about this haul. We shall see. It's very pink.
To just fully commit now. It's like, yeah, okay, let's go all in.
Yeah,
pink.
We have gone all in.
Pink walls, pink ceiling. And you go in there like, no, too pink. What have I done?
Yeah, it is very pink. I'll have to share a picture on my Instagram. It is like pink. So
if your family are annoying you, you can just stand there in your pink outfit, and then they won't see
blend in. Camouflage. Even my face is really pink today.
All right, before we move on from talking about the shop, Nikki asked, have you got any new classes and workshops planned? I can't wait to sew in your beautiful space.
Oh, bless her. Yes, we have. We've got, I can't remember the dates off the top of my head. We only planned them yesterday. So I've actually got some samples here if you want me to show you. So we have got, it's a Japanese inspired knot bag, and it's, as you can see, so this sample has been made up. It's fully reversible. So you can turn it inside out. So it's two sides, and we're aiming this at a beginner. So you'll have done like learn how to use a sewing machine and what have you. We do beginners classes too. So learn how to use a sewing machine. It's 2 hours long. With that one, you are just learning how to thread the machine, how to wind a bobbin, the fundamentals of a sewing machine, cleaning it, maintenance, what each stitch does, what the feet do, and so on. So once you've mastered that, something like this, it folds down so you can pop it in your handbag. And I can never get this the right way around because I can never remember which way around it goes. But basically, I think it goes something like that. And you wear it on your wrist. So that is a Japanese inspired knot bag. So that will be going on shortly. Then another one that's going on shortly is the ruffle bag. Now, the reason we've done these classes is I don't teach dressmaking because upstairs from the shop we've got the School of Sewing that Alison Smith runs, and Alison is dressmaker. So I said I'd do the complete beginners to get you on your journey to sewing, and also do some classes that teach you various techniques that are transferable into dressmaking, such as this. So this one is the ruffle bag. And as you can see, it's got this ruffle on there, which I use a lot in dressmaking. So a lot of these skills are transferable. Some of them have zips. I'll show you in a minute. So this one's going to have a magnetic clasp, and it's got hardware on it. So this is a class that will be coming up. Then we've got the zippy pouch. There's another one that's coming up. It's a box pouch, zippy box pouch. And with this, you're learning the zip insertion. You're learning how to make binding. I don't know if you can catch that on there. It is actually quilted as well. So you'll be learning how to do quilting. And it's fully lined. And then I did one the other day, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I had to go at one of the classes. I don't teach them. Anne Acosta teaches for me in the room at the back. So we've got a sewing studio. And Anne used to teach at Loughborough University. Fabulous teacher, absolutely knows her stuff about textiles and fashion and what have you. And she taught you how to do a book or diary or whatever cover, journal
That's
cover.
really cute.
And I had a whale of a time. It was great. It was just a scrappy, using up some scraps. This is what I'm making a quilt in at the moment, a Liberty quilt. And these were all little offcuts. And I save everything, no matter how small the fabric. I've got things everywhere in my stash. And I just literally went for it. I was just throwing them through the machine. And there's even bits of old jeans on there and all sorts. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But the main aim of this was teach you how to mitre corners on binding. And make your own binding, of course, which you do need to learn if you're doing a quilt. So my quilt's over in the corner there. And yeah, so that was a brilliant class. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So there's some of the classes that are going to be coming up soon.
Amazing. Oh, I'm just still thinking about the fabric that you used for the knot bag. That's what my fabric weakness is: cobalt blue and florals together in one fabric. Oh.
That's Nerida Hansen fabric. So that is on my website. And this one, that one there, that one's in the sale actually. It's on the sale section on my website. It's fabulous. It comes in different colours, that one. But these are cotton poplins. So make some nice tops and dresses as well.
Yeah. Oh, I don't need any more temptation. Quick, everyone go and buy it so before the chat ends, so that I don't have to buy it all.
I am a bit of a sucker for flowers. I have to keep saying that, not everyone likes flowers. I'm going to get some geometrics and some stripes. Don't just keep going for the florals.
But the bag, the ruffle bag, looked like a Fabulism fabric as well.
That is Fabulism. Yeah, that was the Queen of Hearts fabric.
Such gorgeous fabric.
Yeah, and she's put a little button on it as well. So this is all the hardware on the bag, which I'm going to start doing soon. So I am going to start doing some more bag making supplies. So once I've listed this onto the website, I'm going to start doing that, because I have so many people making bags and purses. It's a really big thing. And yeah, why not? I mean, you use a bag every single day of your life pretty much, don't you, for one thing or another, whether you're going to the beach or going out for the day or going to school or just going to work. That, you know, everybody needs them, and they're lovely little gifts as well. So
Yeah,
I've been getting into bag making.
I've seen a lot of people like kind of getting into bag making like from dressmaking, and I think like for a lot of reasons, like a lot of people like they have so many clothes already because if they've been sewing for like a long time, and then also like with bag making you don't have to do any fitting, and then
Yeah.
also like you say it's really good gifts because you don't have to get someone's measurements or you know their sort of ease preferences. You can just be like, here you go, here's a bag, it's done, you can use it. So that, yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
And they're super handy, aren't they? But yeah, and you can make them relatively quickly as well. It's a nice, a mindful sewing day.
Amazing. I see Tina in the chat. Hi Tina, thanks for joining us. Right, okay, let's get on to Lisa's question, which is how big is your personal stash?
Do you want me to open the cupboard? This is just part of it. Do you want me to show you? I'm going to spin you around. So in the corner of my room, I have got, I'm scared everything's going to fall out. So this is just part of it. So it goes, I'm going to move you, I'm hoping it's not. So it goes all the way at the top there, all the way down to the bottom. And then in the corner of the room, I don't know if I can spin you around or whether I'll make you all seasick. Let's just spin you around. So in the corner of the room, I'm actually ashamed to show that. I don't know if you can see there.
So your overflow pile.
That's my don't really know what to do with it pile. It's bits and bobs. But then I've also got down here next to my sewing machine, I have got wadding and calico for twirls. I've got lingerie supplies. Up here, I've got boxes of buttons and interfacing. So up there, those 3 boxes are buttons and interfacing. It has kind of got a little bit out of control of late, but there's bits on my desk. There's some. This is my pattern stash down here. So these are all my patterns, and they're absolutely full. But some of those, to be fair, are from when I was younger, from the 90s. And I don't know why I keep hold of them, because they're size 10s and 12s, and that's never going to happen again. So I should really have a clear out, really, but I can't bear to part with them just because they bring back nice memories and what have you. But my stash, it's not too bad, I don't think. I don't think that's...
It mostly seems to fit in that cupboard. I mean, the cupboard's full to the rafters, but it's
on a magnetic clasp, and I have to kind of really push it in. But yeah, I've got some things in there that I'll probably never ever. I mean, this here, I don't know if you can see it. It's neon.
The neon pink.
Yeah, that's actually my daughter's that she bought for me to make her some swimwear. It's been there about 3 years now. Probably never will get made up. Some of the fabrics, I don't know if you recognise some of these from the top. They're actually in the shop at the moment, so I'm going to make those up at some point. I've got some really beautiful bits and some bits that I'm not so keen. This one here. So a lady bought this in Hong Kong. Oh, there you go. It's all falling out. This one is
pick me.
It's nice bits there, actually. I forgot I had some of them. This one was a lady that was a student on Alison's class years ago when I worked for Alison. And she bought it, I want to say in Hong Kong. It's cotton and it's got the most fabulous print on it. And she kindly gave it to me. Look, it's got really random, it's got really random things on there. So, I mean, it's got parrots and olives and what else have we got? We've got sombreros, meerkats. It's even got, where have I just sit there? Meerkats.
That's really fun.
It's really, really cool. So I did make a blouse in this. It's even got a phone and a lime and a banana. So very random. An armadillo. I mean, everyone needs an armadillo on their top, don't they? So I did make a blouse in this, and I've got loads left. So do you know what? I'm going to leave that out. That's going to be a dress. So lots of bits and bobs.
Amazing. That fabric feels like it should be like a memory game or something. You know, like
Yeah,
if you lose your suitcase and the airport's like, well, what's in the suitcase? And you're like, well, there is a dress in there and it's got pictures of meerkats and there's a wishbone and an ice lolly and a sombrero and a lime and they're like, okay, yeah, okay, we believe you. This is yours.
there's not
No
going
one
to be
else has
many
this.
people with that walking around, though, is there?
Exactly.
But I pulled out some other bits as well. So you were asking me about older fabric. I've got this piece of silk. This is really old. I don't know how long I've had it. It's like a shot silk, so it's beautiful, like iridescent.
Such
With it
gorgeous,
being
like
shot.
two colours as well, with the blue
Yeah.
and the purple.
So I've got that. There's not a lot of that. I don't know why I've got it or how long I've had it. But I know it's a really old piece for me. And then I bought this a few years ago, which is an African wax print.
Oh, love those colours together
The
as well.
colours aren't they beautiful? And I've had this a while, and it was a lot thicker cotton than I would normally sew with. It's not something that I would normally, but I love it. And this year I'm gonna hopefully make something with this. So if anyone's got any ideas of what I could do with this, I love big sleeves and I love a bit of shape because I am quite a curvy girl. So I find if I make anything too loose, it doesn't suit me. I feel like so I need something semi-fitted. So if anyone's got any pattern suggestions for this, I'd love to hear them. And then a few years ago, I pulled out this as well to show you. So a few years ago when I worked for Alison, I had to have an operation and she gave me this piece of fabric. It's a Linton tweed. And look at that. Isn't that absolutely stunning? It's got
Amazing
all the
colours again.
Yeah. It's even got a metallic ribbon running through it. So I've got this. It's sat in my stash for all this time. I've never used it. So that needs using up as well. But I always thought I'd make a French jacket, but I've never got around to that either. So yes, there's a few pieces in there that are special to me.
That's really cool. Yeah, the Ankara Appreciation Week challenge is coming back in July on Instagram. So maybe you can check out the previous hashtags for some inspiration.
I shall have a look and see. Maybe I could take part in it this year with the. It's so beautiful. The colours are amazing, and I don't get to see things like that very often when I'm buying. So that's a really nice piece of fabric there.
Yeah, Kirstine suggests the Camille dress by Dovetailed London, which I think is like high necked with big sleeves, maybe, and like a big skirt.
Oh, okay.
Or Tina suggests the Emporia Penelope. That's another one with like a gathered skirt and big sleeves.
That sounds right up my street.
Mel says, "Can I have it, please? I've just bought the Maison Fauve Nage Libre pattern. I should have that one. Is that a new one?
Is that the jacket? I think I've got that.
Or maybe that's for the tweed.
Oh, right, yes. It could be. Oh, Linton tweed's beautiful. I'd love to have that in the shop. But yeah, isn't that pretty? So yeah, I've got some. Actually, that sits quite nicely with that. Maybe I need a.
Yeah, it could be a lining.
Yeah. So I'll have a look at the tweed fabric she's put. I'll have a look at the Penelope and the Camille. I shall definitely take a look at those. It's really, I'm surrounded by patterns all the time, and I think that's probably why I struggle to make something, because I change my mind all the time. So I'll see something, I'm like, I'm going to make that. I'm going to take that fabric. I love that pattern. And then the next day I'll be like, oh, but that one's nice. I'll have a look at that. And then Instagram, it helps, but doesn't help, because I'm flicking through going, oh gosh, look at that. I want to make that. I want to make this. I want to make that. So I think I get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
With everything, but I'm sure lots of people do. It's hard not to. You want to make all the things, and there's just not enough time.
Yeah, too inspired.
Yeah, perhaps. Especially when customers come in, and if there's a fabric I like, well, I like all of them obviously because I buy them. That's a lot like my own stash. If I don't like it, and there's things that I wouldn't necessarily wear myself, but I love them. If you know what I mean, there's a difference. I can look at something and go, that is absolutely stunning, and that would suit such and such, but I wouldn't necessarily wear it myself. But when somebody buys something that I would 100% wear, and I say, oh, what are you making with this then? Get the ideas. And then I want to copy it straight away. Oh, that sounds fabulous. But I never do, because like I said, I never have time. But I love hearing what people are making, and that's the other thing about having a face-to-face shop. So I hope people don't think I'm being nosy when I ask if they've got a plan, because not everyone does, and that's okay. You can buy something and it can sit in your stash. There's no judgment here. But it's just nice if they've got something in mind. It's nice to hear. It's nice to bounce ideas off one another. So I'm not being nosy if anyone ever thinks I am. It's just nice to hear what they're doing. So it's nice to tag me, because I can see what it become.
I think the sewing community generally is like quite happy to share as well, aren't they? Because like, especially if you're like excited about a project and you're like, oh yeah, like that's the perfect fabric and I can't wait to make it, and then someone asks you, oh, what are you making? You're like, whoa, someone actually wants to hear about what I'm making. Everyone's gonna roll their eyes and say, oh, you've bought some more fabric, have you? But this person in the shop genuinely is interested.
Oh yeah, I love it. And then when people say, because I hear about patterns all the time that I've never heard of. I've never heard of the cameo dress or the Penelope dress. So I think I know the Penelope dress, actually, now I'm thinking about it. I just can't picture it in my head, but I think I know the one. But it's lovely to hear, because it inspires you. And more often than not, it's not just me in the shop. There might be a customer stood behind you in a queue, and then often they'll go, oh, I've made that. And then before you know it, it sparks a conversation. And then that goes back to that community thing again, having the shop. So somebody might say, oh, I'll go for sewing lessons at such and such a place, or oh, I've travelled from such and such a place today. And that makes a conversation. And before you know it, you've always got something or somebody in common, whether it's a friend on Instagram and then it's just, I love the sewing community. I think it's a very supportive place, and there's never any judgment, I don't think. Not that I've encountered anyway. So I don't know why I was so nervous about doing this, really.
Yeah, don't worry, this is like what happens with everyone. Everyone before Stash Chats is like, oh, I'm quite nervous, like, to be, live. But I'm like, you're live on the internet, but a nice part of the internet where everyone's like sewing. Everyone wants to hear about fabric, so it's all happy, all good.
Good.
Do you want to quickly tell us about your ball gown that I spotted in the background?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to spin you around? I'll spin you around.
I can just about see it. There we are.
So it's not in the best of lights, actually. So it's a woven jacquard fabric. I knew that I wanted to have a fitted bodice. Just going back to what I said before, anything that's too loose on me, with me being a bigger girl, just makes me look swamped. So I fitted the top. I didn't want anything fitted on the hips. It was self-drafted. I had a lot of help from my friend Anne, who is the sewing teacher in the studio at the shop. I designed it and she helped me draft the pattern. She totally got my vision. We did a block together. Anne showed me how to do a block. It's been a long time since I did that, so Anne taught me through that. And we got the fitting pretty spot on, I like to think. Gosh, it was a nightmare, because at the time I was losing weight whilst we were making it, and I had to keep twirling it, and then I needed to take it in again. And at the last minute, 2 days before I wanted it finished, I had to redo the whole bodice again to get it to fit. But it's got a bubble hem, and it's got a big split up the front. So I don't know if you can see the split up the front there. So it was a thigh-high split. And it was.
So did you make that for a special occasion?
It was for the dressmakers ball in Leicester, which was last October time, I think it was. And I know there's another ball this year, which is November the 1st in Leicester. And honestly, it was fabulous just to dress up for the evening and go and see what everybody else was making, what they've made. And I think it must be the only time you can go out and go up to somebody and touch their dress, fawn over someone's dress and open and go, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Because you wouldn't normally do that, would you, going out? It's just not within the realms of social etiquette. But yeah, it was a fun project to do. The fitting was a real issue, and I pattern matched it as well. It took up so much fabric. I pattern matched the back and I pattern matched all down the side for the split. So it was a real head scratcher of a dress, but I loved every minute of it. And I love a challenge with sewing as well. I like to push myself a little bit each time I make something. But we're thinking of going again this year. I've just not booked the table yet. I'm definitely going to make something a lot less complicated for me, and I'm going to follow a pattern. I'm not going to go down the route of a self draft again. Definitely
it
not.
looks amazing though. So you just got it on display now to honor
Yeah.
the work you put into it.
Well, it's that big. It doesn't really fit in my wardrobe, so it sits in the back. Just have to hope the cats don't crawl up it when they come in the sewing room.
Yeah, Tina says it's gorgeous. It is amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's very sparkly as well. Well, it's not sparkly. That's the wrong word. Shimmery. It's like the fabric's got a shimmer to it. As soon as I saw the fabric, I knew I wanted to make a fancy frock out of it. It's all lined as well. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah,
it was probably the toughest thing I've ever made. I've made bridesmaids dresses before, and I did my daughter's christening gown when she was a baby, with a lot of help from my mum back then, as she was only young. But yeah, it's a special frock.
Amazing. Would you, if your daughter was like, "Oh, would you make me a wedding dress?" Would you consider doing that, or would you be like, "Let's go shopping"?
I don't think she'd ask me, I think she'd rather pick something in a shop. I think she'd want that experience of going yes to the dress and trying it on. I don't think she'd want me to make her one. She doesn't sew herself. That's one of the things I feel quite disappointed in. I hope that she would, but she's not interested at all in sewing. Maybe she will be as she gets a bit older, but up until now, she's not really bothered. But we'll see.
Have you tried to get your kids like into sewing, or just be like, "Oh, they'll come to it when they're ready," and then it's
when they were little? My mum's a quilter as well as a dressmaker, and she used to take them to young quilters when they were little, part of the Quilters Guild, and they used to go every week. And it was great for children. They used to come home, they'd make little quilts, they'd do book covers. They were always creating things, and happy that she knows how to use a sewing machine, as does my son. So they both know the way around it. I mean, Mia's 24 and Rowan's 21, near 22 now. Both very busy lives. So I'm hoping one day it will help with Mia's got quite a pressured job. So I think that sewing one day, when the time's right, when she's ready, it will be one of those things that she will realise is quite soothing and helps clear your mind. It will be good for her. I think she'll come round one day.
Oh, amazing. Right, well, we've only got like a couple of minutes left. Oh, Jackie says you looked amazing in your ball gown at the dressmakers ball.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yes, we've only got a couple of minutes left. So is there anything else you want to tell us about, or?
I don't think so. There's plenty words. I feel like I've talked everyone to death here. No, I don't think so. If you have the opportunity to come and visit the shop, it'd be lovely to meet people and come in and come and say hello. But like I say, I've got the website if you're not able to come in. But Ashby, where the shop is based, is a beautiful town. It's a market town. We've got an outdoor swimming pool. We've got castle ruins. It's a traditional market town with lots of little courtyards and mews, and it's a nice place to explore. Lots of cafes and bars, restaurants and independent shops. So it is a nice day out. It's not just that you come into a fabric shop. There's lots here to do and to see. So it is a nice. We're just off the A42, not far from Birmingham, Nottingham. We're kind of in the middle of the two, Derby, Burton, right slap bang in the middle there, in the middle of the country. So nice and easy to get to. So do come and visit.
Yeah, brilliant. Everyone's going to be booking their holidays now the sun's come out.
Well, we get lots of people that, if you live up north or you live down south and you're going on holiday either way, they'll often stop in the middle. So I get people from all over that just use their, break up the journey by stopping in Ashby de la Zouche.
Sounds much nicer than going to a service station anyway.
It is much nicer.
Fabric shopping, go to a nice cafe.
Absolutely.
And we've got
a chair in the corner of the shop, which we lovingly call the chair of despair. So it's been sat in by many a gentleman that is waiting patiently. But yeah, it's a nice place to shop. I think. I hope it is.
It sounds like you've put a lot of work into like curating the shop and making it really welcoming environment. So yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Tina says it is more expensive than a service station. I don't know. I went to a Costa at a service station the other day, and it was like £34 for like 3 coffees and 4 pastries and a couple of juices.
Well,
it was insane.
There you go. You could get a bit of fabric and take a flask.
Yeah.
There's
Sounds
a
a
pub
much
next
better
door.
Yeah, the pubs just take the edge off the chair of despair.
Yeah, you could send the men folk there if not into shopping. But to be fair though, a lot of we get everybody come in and shop. I mean, I had a young girl tonight before we came home. She was only young, just starting to learn to sew, and that was lovely. I had a gentleman that was making a pair of shorts. So young, old, men, women, you can do whatever you want to do with sewing. It takes you all over. So.
Oh, this is amazing. We've got Elizabeth in the chat saying, this is exactly what I'll be doing tomorrow, travelling from northwest to southeast England via Ashby. Can't wait to fondle some fabric. Brilliant plan.
Oh, well, you must introduce yourself to me then, Elizabeth, when you come in.
And Karen says, I love visiting the shop. Emma's very helpful and everyone is friendly. A good place for inspiration.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's really a nice, lovely review to finish on. Thanks so much for joining us, Emma.
No, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, it's been really, really lovely to have you here. And I've put links to the Fabric Boutique website and socials in the description under this YouTube video. So do go and check those out. And yeah, hopefully you can plan in a visit to Ashby at some point and pop in the shop in person. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you missed any of this chat, it's going to be on replay on YouTube, so you can watch it straight away afterwards. So yeah, thank you everyone who joined live and who's watched on the replay as well. And thank you so much, Emma, for joining us on Stash Chats.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I'll be back next week with Shirty Deeds. So that's going to be another really fun chat. So I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.